Hi, good morning. Welcome back to Covenant of Life Resources. This platform is dedicated for our weekly resourcing practices brought through your way freely, courtesy, say resources. Our goal literally with this is to hold your hands and help you through your technical journey as spiritual men. When I mean spiritual men, I mean Christians. Are we still together now? All right, so this class is dedicated 25th of October 2024. It's going to be resourcing practice 104. All right, last week was a beautiful one. We studied literally to understanding and enjoying your wealthy journey. And I believe that every one of us connected had a great time with us last week. One of the things that we said last week that stands out literally is I said wealth accumulation is literally akin to a spiritual path, that involves rituals and taboos. And I said both ritual and taboos is what gives, you know, frequencies. I hope you understand. We use the analogy of the radio. I hope you understand to help understand the perspective we were, are leading to for frequencies. And one of the things that we did literally is that we established that, just like any other pathway, I hope you understand, wealth is going to require you defining your rituals from your taboos. We defined rituals simply as customary practices, right? Taboos as things you don't even want to think of, not to talk about doing. And I deferred to the word of Jesus that said, once a man thinks in his heart lustfully about a look at a woman lustfully, he said he has done it. So that makes it a taboo. A taboo is not just something they say don't touch it, you understand kind of stuff. You need to conceptualize it. The reason is because if you conceptualize that kind of thought line is going to disintegrate your frequency on the path that you're going through or going through. I will see you together now. And I said to you clearly, these things are not some, dark age idea where somebody's telling you four taboos of well, no. It literally stems from your values, and your values produce your value. There are like two teachings. I hope you understand. If you go on an archive, let me find the topics, so that it can help you just get a bit idea of values again. So if you get onto our resource platform page on YouTube, the weekly resourcing practice, we have finding your value. That's the teaching. You go listen to finding your value. It's a 12 minutes 38 seconds video. Value stop. You're going to see there that your value stems from your values. I hope you understand. For me, just to make it simple, I teach my students in class. I tell them I value God, I value humanity, I value education. I hope you understand. That's what has brought many things you see around my life that you love. That's why you're right on this platform this moment. We see together. So your ideas, your ideas, your activities, the places, you understand, the people, those are the things that formulate your taboos and your rituals. And one thing is that if you understand this well enough, it's going to determine your trajectory, which is your choices, and determine your destination. Are we together now? Ultimately, which is consequences. It's beautiful to know that we have such capacity, to take responsibility. I hope you understand, and also respond to our ability. And I hope that you're going to be challenged. I hope you understand to walk that path. So one of the things I did is listen again. I picked the word of accumulation. That's what we're going to be narrowing down on right now. I hope you understand. We will narrow down on this right now. So for you to understand this, we'll be focusing on wealth accumulation, but it's going to have a lot of keywords, four of them: finance and financing, startups and scale-ups. All right, so this opens two parts, and after this brief resourcing practice, we are going to be focusing either on resource and finance and financing, or we focus on scale up and startups. Either of the one that works best is what we're just going to focus on the perfect right now. Are we still together? Before I move on, also, it's good for us to remember when I taught you, to rediscovering, wealth as a spiritual path. I told you, I said that wealth is not a task, wealth is a path. I'm sure you remember carefully. And then I drew a simple, model. I'm sure it's going to come up as a graphic right now. I hope you understand where I told you that, there are two things that are essential in, rediscovering wealth as a path. The spiritual path are that, you're going to master the thing of identity, and you're going to trust your path. I hope you understand. And I said to you that in identity we have two dimensions. There is the generic dimension of identity, right? There is the specific dimension to identity. And in the generic dimension, you have traders, businessmen, entrepreneurs. In specific, you have baker, pastor. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So today, what I want to focus on is wealth accumulation. I want to just learn something very profound and simple. It's a practice that will change your life if you master it, and it helps you get to the end of your journey. So I think over times I've been focusing so much on the perspective of baking. I hope you understand. I've been talking about bread and all of that, and it's a good moment also for me to, you know, it's a good moment for me to invite you for a workshop that is coming up. It's a workshop coming up, and I just want to get the page ready. Once I get the page, I will pick it from my document. Okay, so that's it right on that page. It's a detail of our upcoming workshop. Are we still together, everybody? I'm sure you're listening to me and you're having a great time. So basically, right in that workshop, I'm going to read the details so you can know where I'm making my case from. I hope you understand, for you to access this workshop. That's coming up next week, Tuesday, I believe, and Wednesday. I believe so. All right, I'll see it. Don't let me believe so. I'll check it now and I'll let you know. So it's redefining your wealth journey. Now, because I'm doing this, I'm going to be opening what I want to share on that workshop deeper, than this. Okay, just to get the information first, this is happening, 29th to 30th. Let me check what that is on the calendar. All right. Yes, that's a Tuesday and Wednesday, right? I'm correct. That's a Tuesday and Wednesday. So you get yourself together, and it's going to be a great time, right? So the first thing first is that I said here that I grew up with little or no privileges. But before we go on with that, we drew our little model. This is our model. Trading, business, entrepreneurship, transactional wealth, transformational wealth, sovereign wealth, income, impact, influence. So I grew up with little or no privileges, and I didn't have access to little things like cakes. I remember a bread product I loved because part of the bread, that's the back of the bread, that brownish place of the bread, seemed like a cake. The name of the bread was value bread. I craved cakes and didn't take long. It didn't take long for cakes to become a top priority, my evangelist against poverty. Imagine growing up in Nylon Matagorgo State where you could only buy cakes as far as Ikeja, Lagos State, before cakes and creams moved into burger, in Lagos here. And it seemed a bit closer to Matagorgo, but of course it's a distance anyways. The question is, would no one bake in the whole vicinity? And I said, of course the answer is no. I'm sure somebody was baking somewhere. As I returned from my service, that's my NYSC, and settled in 2015, motivating and helping fresh graduates like myself start businesses in baking became a priority. That means as I came back, so because I saw that loophole, it was so much to fill in. I had been instrumental in the startup of a couple of businesses that aim to make parents partner, in the marketplace in Matogo. However, I watched these beautiful souls listen to me, make some funds, and then I never heard from them again. The humanity of man, right? Yes. However, the limitations of men also. Many of these businesses folded up, and there are three reasons why it folded up, I figured. Number one, the bread or cake is a product. I hope you understand. Bread or cake is a product. There was a need to separate product from service from person. That's identity, and I taught you about identity already, right? So baking cakes is a service. The journey of income, influence, and impact begins when you know how to help with this. So reading this now, adapting to your skill or professionalism, do you know how to help with your professional skill? And straight up, I was just teaching your mindset to entrepreneurship. I hope you understand now. Cake is a product, baking is a service, knowledge is a business. So many people when they bake something, I hope you understand, and then or when they maybe there's a resource, in-house resource, training. I hope you understand. People will supply maybe meat pies or something. If they give it out to somebody, they're going to make good money. I hope you understand. Then they believe they already have a business. You don't have a business, my brother or my sister. I think this is a bit more in Nigeria. You don't have a business, right? You're baking a product. I hope you understand. You're offering services, but you don't have a business. Do you understand business properly? Now that you can bake And specifically, you can bake it up, bread, cakes, donuts, jam, chin, whatever it is. You need to learn how to build a trade platform and develop the business side of the trade platform. We're going to focus on these things more broken down. Number 3, you need to learn the biblical way to start and leave that realm of being stuck due to little or no resources. If you are in the faith like many others who believe they have some value to offer but do not have funding to start, talk is really for you. What if I start with a wall in your mind telling you that you've been wrong all this while? Money is an important growth factor in anything, but it's never a tool required or needed to start anything, not for profit. And listen to me from this standpoint, of a producer, not a consumer. In reality, there is no one that is coming to give you free money, right? You will have to exchange value to get all the money you need for growth and development. So one of the things is this: a cake is a product that you make, that you sell, or that you show. Some people just like to show things they do, but the baker is what you are. Of course, know who you are. You can understand. This speaks to impact. You understand what I'm saying now? And what would being a baker mean to you? This isn't for profit at all, but for impact. So you don't need to be a baker to bake cakes. You don't need to be a baker to sell cakes. You don't need to be a baker to do all those things around cakes. But you need to be a baker to use cake or baking to change your world. Do you understand? So the perspective of wealth accumulation happens from this point. Are you to understand now? It's not about profit at all. It's not about impact, right? A cake business is the brand responsible for the making and marketing of cake. So when we now have a proper brand around this, are you to understand? Then we have a cake business. Are you to understand what I'm saying? Making the cake a part of the brand products. Before you know, there are many more things. Are you to understand? When we delve deeper into entrepreneurship. The first thing first I want to say, even as I move on, again, is that please, I beg you, don't joke with the model I taught you. Sometimes when things come for free, you don't value it. I had a discussion one time. I don't know what platform, I exist in a lot of platforms, and I'm just contributing my quota. And then we're talking, we're talking towards marketplace authority, and we're talking about, marketplace positioning. Okay. So I always use Exousia to teach marketplace authority. God's power so powerful that he had to delegate. I hope you understand the authority to use it. And I say, okay, the industry and all of that, there's a delegation that happens, and most Christians are not part of it, unfortunately. But this is what I'm trying to zoom on today. So we spoke to the point of Dangote, you understand? And somebody was trying to give a presentation, lovely man, and he said, Dangote as an entrepreneur. I said, stop there. He said, is Dangote an entrepreneur? He was saying, of course, And I said, to prove, look at what he told me. He said, how do you say this now? I'm the refinery, and I told him, I said, come. Do you think Dangote is an entrepreneur? He said, yes. I'm quite an entrepreneur to you. He said, yes. Give my definition. And I was able to prove to him that Dangote is a trader, not an entrepreneur. There is a need for you to take that generic definition first. Now, I'm even teaching you in CL resources to transit through it and not stop at anyone. Let me prove to you Dangote is a trader. I have shown their geometrical growth progression before, one. Number two, I'll say something with wisdom. I hope you get it. When the corrupt politicians in Africa, in Nigeria steal funds, right? Who do they give it to? They give funds to certain people that do business with it and make a lot of money. I hope you're aware. Sometimes they do real estate business. There are people you call millionaires or billionaires in Nigeria that are fronting for corrupt politicians. The corrupt politician has an identity, and he says, I don't know how to use my money to build a system that multiplies it. But there is a man I have known. When I was struggling for democracy, he was simply building a store that sells peanuts. I hope you understand, Francie. I then inherited it from his grandfather, his father. And if I have resources right now, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not trying to malign any character. I hope you've seen Dangote's interview. I hope I find it. I'll show you where he was talking about why he went into cement business.
But why is cement such a big part of Africa's, wealth?
Well, the issue is that when you look at cement is what builds infrastructure. And we need a lot of infrastructural. In Nigeria alone, we have about 17,000 deficit of housing. And it is all over in, Africa.
They said, so there will still be a need to build. Do you understand now? So what you did is that you thought it was solving your problem. No, it created a business around your problem. I thought entrepreneurship is solving problems really. Am I maligning the character? I love Dangote so much, but etymology remains the foundation, right? And Christianity perceives the marketplace as a ministry ground. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I differ on these terms and conditions. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If a Christian gets into the cement industry, building becomes easier. You thought he was trying to make cement available for you. No, it's not true. Saw that loophole, filled it up, you have to pay through your nose. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Global statistics prove now that globally 4 refineries have shut down because Dangote is operating a refinery right now. I hope you understand. One of the words he said as a pledge to the community of Nigerians is he was going to make fuel available and cheap. I hope you know. Some speculate 500 naira or something. I hope you know that's impossible. Of course, yes, because the system around it is trading. I hope you understand. As I speak now, Dangote is the sole only supplier of Jet A1 fuel. In case your flight has been delayed or rescheduled and you're angry, it's because of these things I say. The market was created to enforce trading. Do you understand? It's not necessarily helping you solve the problem. Do you really get what I'm trying to say? That identity is clear. Dangote is a trader. Does it do entrepreneurship? If you understand the model, you are going towards entrepreneurship. You are moving from trading, you're going to business, right? You're going to entrepreneurship. But the fact that you're working that part doesn't mean by fire, by force, you're an entrepreneur. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Trust me, if you begin to use the cement to solve a problem now, you get the message now? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So, for example, I think I'm saying a lot of things already, but I know you got it. Dangote's strength is the market. It's what you call monopoly. And the monopoly is not a term or spiritual thing. It can be understood. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I have a work literally on B2C. I hope you understand how to help you sell exclusively. I hope you understand. One of the strategies of Dangote is that Dangote sells in bulk, not to you, but into a system. I was privileged to see I think it's a lot of things I'm saying, but I know so well from the audited accounts. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say now. How it's a whole lot of things. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. But this is the balance. This is what I'm trying to tell you tonight, my friends, or this morning. You'd see that once they produce from the plant, I hope you understand, and the cements are out, the distributors have gotten it, they have paid back the company, even if you have not gotten the cement. Are you getting the message? So it sells bulk, it sells once. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Those are strength of a trader. Do you get my point now? So one of the things you need to know, Dangote is trading oil. See it. I know you are buying fuel at stations, but Dangote is trading oil. There's a difference between, if it was an entrepreneur, the government refinery would have worked. When you had a smile, so you know it's not so many things. I'm really very careful right now. So take your identity. Let's know your identity. Even though you're going to move. If I was in the marketplace being actively, I'm an entrepreneur. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Trading, of course, I would just have wanted resources to define, not you understand what I'm trying to say now. Are you getting what I'm saying now? I can go on. Dear Peter Obi, I'm sure a lot of people love him, right? Peter Obi, it's a Christian, right? Profession, I believe, all right? So what that means is Peter Obi does a lot of importation of a lot of canned things, canned commodities. I hope you understand. Many of your canned products you eat and consume. Set price regulatories. I hope you're aware of these things now. I know you see, I'm not trying to malign people. These guys are doing tradings. It's a trader. Do you understand? So it's not walking around. See, he's a trader. Do you get what I'm saying now? There are business people. You get my point now? There are business people. We can mention there are entrepreneurs, and there are very few of them. Because once the etymology is destroyed, that's definition, meaning will be corrupt. So you need to understand from what I'm trying to infer that a baker is what you are. You understand what I'm trying to say now? Who you are is you're a son of God, the righteousness of God in Christ. You understand the baker is what you are. Do you get what I'm saying carefully? That means, what is man that thou art mindful of him? God can use the instrumentation of you being a baker, do you understand now, to fix an issue. Somebody baking, they can't just use that. Without this definition, you're not going to see the supernaturality of whatever you believe in. I hope you understand now. At work, you won't. All right. So one of the things that I want to start with is this today, and you have to know this, I beg of you, please, that a bread seller is not an identity. So I'll use bread. Yeah, since this is cake, so I'll get to the workshop on cakes. I've deviated to bread. Those times we're growing up, people put their bread on their head. You can understand now, and there are different way of advertising. But you hear Ongbona bread. I can remember well something about butter bread. That's how I grew up. You understand? Ongbona bread, something, and you rush out and say a family bread or something. You understand? Do you know that sometimes if you call them Omoni bread, they are hungry, especially if you're young like them. They may be they may even be your schoolmates, but the parents sell bread, so he's just trying to up the bread around the street to make sales possible. I hope you understand. I said, Omoni bread. He can drop the bread and stone you. I say, is it because I'm selling bread and Omoni bread? You just imagine. So that he's selling bread doesn't mean he's a what? Bread seller. A bread, that means from trader, you understand? He is not associating with trading bread. There are many of you doing things that you are seeing is because things have not worked for you, and you want to prosper in that thing. You will not prosper. Ask me why. Because you don't have a wealth accumulation strategy. I know, as I said, you are thinking how to pilot money, then you are a thief. I'm talking about building a wealth of experience that can translate into money anytime because it's congealed value. The woman is carrying bread on her head. You understand? You say, Mama, only bread. I'm speaking Yoruba. It means bread woman. Maybe they will help me interpret some Yoruba part there. Just your parents. Then, the woman looks back. It can be, and then you're a young child. She may just say you abused her because she's not happy doing it. Do you understand? So let's ask a question. In the whole of Nigeria, who do you know that is happy baking bread? You may not be able to mention anybody. So we don't necessarily, I don't know who is happy baking bread. I don't know the whole world. I don't know. So you don't have that identity thing fixed. So it's not about, hey, this concept. No, the person may react. The person may say, is it because of my condition? When you call somebody a pastor, when they introduce me, people call me apostle prophet, then somebody calls me an equiper. Somebody says a kingdompreneur. Are you seeing what's happening now? So there is specificity of definition. It's a journey. Do you get my point? I've sometimes had to preach in classrooms that were highly spiritual, and I just tilted using maybe an entrepreneurial example, and the whole church was, what is this? You understand now? And so people are like, oh, how can we get? I know there's even a school or something. And do you get my point now? There is a need. You cannot thrive in what you are not identifying with. Do you understand? And identifying doesn't mean partial identity. It means you fully identify with this now. So one of the things you need to understand is that while bread is a product, I hope you understand, innocent product, and the baking of it is a service, there is a need for you to take identity. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. You must please understand that because you sell bread doesn't mean you are doing the trade of bread. You will have to acknowledge doing the trade, and sometimes trading will require bulk system. You go into partnership with bakeries. I hope you understand. You are able to, do you understand supply chain? We can go on and on. So it's not just about I'm selling this something. If that's not true, anyone that wants to sell their laptops becomes a laptop seller. So if they recommend something better for you, now recommend who sold his laptop because it was broke. Imagine someone just put up laptop for sale, distress sale. Those distress sale car. Then you now wanted to buy a Rolls Royce Phantom. You now phone the person. Say, oh, got you now. I won't buy a Rolls Royce now. What do you think he'll tell you? Do they mock me? If he mistakenly connects it to his car, so you'll be in trouble. You actually, because waiting up for I can't sell my car. Do they mock my God? And you're like, I thought you can't be 13. That's how people, when they are 13, they don't do any business transaction with you. They are not sure. Today you sell vegetable. Tomorrow you sell car. Next tomorrow you are selling land. And you say, I can't sell anything. And I'm sure you're convincing yourself you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Part of what you do is suffer. You understand? You suffer for long, and there will be strength for it because you are not fixing the place of identity. Are we still together now? So please, I'm getting you back to this wealth accumulation strategy thing where you have to come to the point. You please have to know. I want you to identify. I'm a trader. I'm a business person, right? I'm an entrepreneur. Of course, I'll start the journey of trading. Do you understand? I have told people, for example, I'll just say the phrase. When people were digging proper gold in history, it was learned that those that sold shovel, I hope you understand, made more money than those that were digging gold. You need shovels to dig the gold. That's trading. You understand? So Even though it starts breaking, you want to know where you are going. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? Are you getting the message carefully? All right. So one of the things that you need to please on, maybe you are doing a bread business. It's possible. What's bread business? Everything they need to bake bread. Baking pan. Is there some like baking soda? Is it the right word? Yeast. I hope you know what you know. Just don't mind me. Wheat flour. Understand all the food additives, everything you need. That's a baking business, and it's possible to even be selling bread after selling all the stuff. You understand? Number three, if you are talking about entrepreneurship, you're an entrepreneur and it's the bread thing, you are trying to use bread to solve problems. So you are selling bread, you are making bread, forgive me, that those that are diabetic can eat. You are selling bread that those that are watching their weight can eat. You're making bread that, a pastor can eat. I mean, I don't like bread. Do you know why? Because most of the breads around is very obvious. It's not, no supplements. It's going to dry your blood. I want to eat bread and then, do you understand what I'm trying to say now? Could your bread be fortified? Fortified enough for, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Busy people want to snack on something. Can you make bread snack, healthy bread snack? Do you get my point? So we can go on and go on and go on like that. And sometimes you can be the one that is helping some of these, how do you call these cafeterias that do toast in the morning, sandwiches. They need bread. I need to understand now. And you can. I remember then I was with Savoy Sweet working. We used to use the sweet sensation on the GRA as a John Street. I don't know till now. And that's a whole lot of time, like 2013, 12, like that. So of course that's so I'm not saying somebody can go and start buying bread there and say because no, you understand. But I'm just saying that's do you understand my point now? So there's a need for you to please come to that point where we get it. When you do this is what will happen. You'll begin to work instantly. I know you're surprised. See, work does not start from kneading the dough or putting it in the pan. Work starts with identity because real work begins with you, not begins with things. I've taught you work a couple of times. Listen to me publicly that when a fish is swimming, a fish is walking. When a bird is flying, a bird is what? Walking. See, my friends, don't forget this. Work truly is working on yourself. It's not working on things. Are you getting the message now? Work truly so is working on yourself. This is what it means now. They may put an image of a man that sculpted himself. I've used it a couple of times. That's work. See, the shape of, do you understand? Imagine somebody is a fitness trainer and is obese. You just imagine. Or somebody, these people that build bodybuilder. But it's like, imagine they say I'm a bodybuilder. And I come and say, so I'm going to, you will, because the real work is not to go and buy all the dumbbells. No, it's to first be built. It's to take their identity. Are you getting what I'm saying now? All right, so you must come to that point where you know that it is when you literally have identity fixed that work starts. Without identity fixed, you cannot start work. Many of you have confused this and you have thought activity is identity. So you do the work activity, not the work of identity. All right, one of the things is this. If you work on yourself, you're going to see the effect on everything. And the real value stems from you shaping your values into your identity. Do you understand now? Shaping your values into your identity. Are you getting the message now? If you can shape your values into your identity, you literally are going to be glad, that you did that. Okay, now, because of time, work more on yourself until the identity becomes attracting. Do you understand now? Our ladies, until they are refined, they always like belt men. You understand what I'm trying to say now? But when they marry, they want a belt pocket, not a big body. Just like an average young man would like a lady that built her body and has a nice feminine shape. Are you to understand now? The end of working to sculpt your identity is attraction. Once you see that you are doing things, nobody is asking you. You don't first have the identity, or the identity is not sculpted well to attract. Once you attract, you will become what people is desiring. Don't confuse that to mean they love you. It's because they love your level of competence or proficiency. You must come to the point of that attraction thing. If you don't get there, forget about all your complaints. Are you getting the message now? Forget about it. All right. One of the things again is that you need to know that, see, you don't reproduce who you want to. Right? You get what I'm trying to say now? You don't know. You reproduce who you are. And who you are is a function of belief construct, values. Are you to understand? So if you're going to really go far, You get the message now. You must understand why I'm focusing on identity and why you have to work it out. This is the word. You must work till you become a standard. Avoid working till your working becomes a standard. That will be working hard, may not mean productivity or fruitfulness. But when you work till you become a standard, anything you involve with is a standardized thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Work till you become a professional baker. Don't work till you can bake red velvet cake alone. So every time you produce people say one vanilla, you say it's red velvet. They say, I'm not buying. You say, God will punish them. I hope you understand. Because, do you understand what I'm trying to say now? The replication thing is that you become, if somebody comes and tell you a crazy stuff, mix charcoal inside cake, ask him how many milligrams. He tells you, you can bake that and eat and say, how did you, because you are a baker, not like, when some people, they ask you, for example, say, I can do this thing. Then again, say, it's not this model I can do. You have not met that kind of person before, and you're like, what did you learn? Because some people, it's only that thing they were learning that they learned at. Maybe at mechanics, they fixed only downfall vehicle. Those are yellow buses. Give the guy a limousine. He will not come. He will not come to take his toolbox. He is not a mechanic. You understand? Do you get what I'm saying carefully? If you're able to do this, you're going to have a beautiful wealth accumulation experience, and it's going to happen so fast. It will happen so fast. So one of the things you need to know, please, is that in this identity journey, you literally will identify with one trader, whatever, but you know that you are transiting, you are taking the journey. I hope you understand now. What you're trying to look at me now is to move from the generic to you take the specific baker. Do you understand? You move from a trader. You will know if you're a trader. You understand? You have a strength. That's what I'm saying. But you move from being a trader to business to entrepreneurship. At the end of it is that you became a baker. You walk and sculpt a baker house. You become an attracting baker. The baker you are is very attractive, and the wealth accumulation is going to start. Is it very clear, my friends? The greatest burden I have is not even all I said. What I said is very beautiful, but I'm going to add this, and I hope it's going to change you. Do you know that if you refuse to fix this identity thing, look at me, my friends, you're going to have identity crisis. And identity crisis is the name. When you apply finance, it becomes financial crisis. Financial crisis is the least level of finances. So it's possible I started out with financial, and financing, or I start with startup and scale up. Anyone is fine. I can run them vis-a-vis themselves. It won't be a problem. 1 week finance, 1 week startup, 1 week finance, just for you to have a blend, very, beautifully created experience. So a bread seller is already identity crisis. So by default, it will always be financial crisis. Listen, my friends, this is painful, but hear this. A bread seller cannot scale up. Did you know why? Because he didn't start up. Imagine that bread, I bread something. If you ask him, he'll be saying, I should even meet my destiny helper. Someone should give me like 10 million. To do what? You see, he will never talk about bread. And he doesn't have what to do with the money. He just wants to reply some of you that have bought and insulted him. You understand? Some of you that maybe didn't respect him properly. You understand what I'm trying to say? I thought that's what many of us are like. You must come to the point in your life where you know that if you do not really fix identity, you cannot transit in finances from financial crisis. Neither, this is one harm, finances, and if you understand, neither can you start up nor scale up. Now, I played the game long time in CA resources. What it means is that universally, startup should be from some 3 to 5 years expiry date. Yes, after 3 to 5 years, startups either hand crash or they come out of the market. But I believe that people can stay long time enough by scaling up, and you can understand, and working on their models and all that. But fundamentally, so just to do this morning, and for you to get the message carefully, you must please come to the point in your life where you know that if you crash on identity, and you can understand, you will. That's why many of you are struggling to start things, and it's really frustrating you. I don't know if any of you in this room are angry and you want to start up. And sometimes you don't, it's because you don't have money. Do you understand kind of feeling now? You're already in the financial crisis state. And you're supposed to take, I think it's a 5-level journey. You're supposed to stop at financial dominion. The journey is very far. I will try and unveil it, but I hope that you find some help and get private sessions for some of these issues. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Financial crisis is very tough. It's not about getting something to do. It's about fixing identity in itself. All right. Some of you then, you either think you have financial crisis. Some of you, I don't have enough money to start up. Either ways, I challenge you to go to your banks or use your bank app and print your statement of account from January till October, the ending. and see how much you have passed through next individual. You will be shocked. You get the message. Okay. I don't know if you have been stranded before. Really stranded. But somehow, somewhere, you are so stranded. You are stranded that you don't have enough. It's not like you don't. You are not poor. You have some funds, but you are equal to poor too. Because you can never touch that money. So you are hungry. I hope you understand now. I wish I can keep painting more scenarios. Or maybe you are even doing what you are struggling, you've started up something and you confuse startup for just a small business somewhere, just a small trading platform. We'll meet in starting up and scaling up. I hope you understand. A startup is not a small business. Because, for example, a startup actually is trying to create a market. A small business is trying to enter an existing market. All right. So, in case you're like that and business has money and you are poor, you see, everything is wrong. Is the both angle of finance and financing vis-a-vis startup and scale up. Are we together now? You know, one thing I think is most young people's fault anyway is that they don't pay themselves as they work or build. They pay themselves as they earn. So they get frustrated along the line because you are waiting for you to blow before you pay yourself. You are supposed to enjoy the journey. I need to understand. You pay yourself as you work or as you build. You don't pay yourself as you earn. All right. If you don't do that, you are going to undervalue yourself. As I speak now, right now on our platforms, I want to literally everything are the free gifts, the gift of your choice and all. But I promise you that if you really wanted to engage me an hour, you'll be surprised if I was going to transact that time. You get my point now? How did? Because I pay myself as I build and as I grow. I hope you understand. I don't earn any cash from anything I do. So I'm not talking about only money. Do you get my point now? Just imagine that you're a billionaire. What does it do to you? If you're a billionaire, your engagement is going to be in billions, true or not? So if you say, I want to talk to you for 1 minute to say, can you pay $1 billion? Because I'm a billionaire. Many of you don't have all this definition, and that's where the problem starts from. Look at this now. My greatest challenge for everyone I instruct on this platform, this is, you look at me, my friends. My problem is that if you keep going this way, you will not build an entrepreneurial system. You will build a self-employment for yourself. I've taught you from the beginning that many people build self-employment for themselves and they call it, entrepreneurship. They're not solving their problem. They just do something to give them 400,000 per month, house them where they have a location for themselves. And they say, I'm the CEO, chief executive, and they are not executing anything. If you cannot outgrow a system, I hope you understand, it's not an entrepreneurial system. I hope you understand now. One of the things you need to know is that you have to keep growing and building. That's working. You understand? Work in CLR is growing and building. It's not activity first. You have to keep growing and building towards removing yourself from the making of products and or rendering services so that the platform can grow without your presence, not your contribution. You keep contributing, but until platforms can grow without your presence, I hope you understand now, you really did not accumulate wealth. Did you get the proof of wealth accumulation is not a lot of money in the bank, is that you built something that can grow without you. Steve Jobs was interviewed before, he died, and then they asked, what is your best product, your best innovation? And he said, the iPhones, the iPads, the Apple laptops, that's what we call them. I said, none of those things, the MacBook, thank you so much. None of those things he said the best product is the thing that I built that produced those things. And he proved himself right. Now he's gone. You are still hustling to buy an iPhone 16 Pro Max. You did a good job. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I hope you understand. He has accumulated wealth. Even if he's long gone, he are still paying. Blessed are his seeds. A good father leaves inheritance. One of the things you need to know, my friends, is this. If you don't master what I'm sharing with you now, you may save funds to invest and it crash or it keeps going, and one day you're going to make an utter fall, and I'm sure you will do, because it's not you, it's not coming from you. You can understand. It's good for you to learn this wealth accumulation strategy, once and for all. I think if you understand what I'm trying to say, I'll take a pause here so that I can focus. I'm going to move. If I do financing, that will be 201. If I do, how do you say this now? The startup and scale up, that will be 301. And you can understand. And that's how we're going to build a structure. So when I structure like that, we keep having more additions to each of the subjects as we go. I don't know, I have a lot of young people around, great guys. The designs you see are very beautiful and exceptional. You know that, right? From somebody's doing it. But what I thought tonight is why somebody can design, but they don't have a job. In 30 days, they didn't get a client. And I know they are very hungry now. And they're asking me a question, how can I change my financial status? They're in a financial crisis, or they say, look at me now. I wish I can build a media company where designing graphics will be part of the services. Like tape now becomes part of the product area. See, here's the truth about it. You are not going to break through with that financing until you come into oneness of identity with that stuff. So when that happens, what happens? You're just going to be designing stuff, not because of money. You're uploading things you design. Imagine putting so much of effort, designing something for like 2 days to upload it for free. Of course, you have to be, copyright, right? All of those things kept constant. But imagine doing that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You won't have to do that for long before somebody's attracted by that thing. People don't have customers or clients because they have identity crisis. And so they have financial crisis, or they cannot start up and scale up. I hope you got it carefully. So what you end up doing is you just go for a side hustle. So even though you say my real work is to design graphics, but I just came to play glass, you understand, since there's no customer, or you want to do a new skill. You say if graphics are okay, let me do 3D. You will still have the same results, it's the same you. Or sometimes people get angry and say, let me get a job. So you start teaching in secondary school and use your spare time to design. If maybe the school now is library design, they say they'll hand it to your salary, and now you are hungry. How do you change everything? Fix the identity crisis. I need to understand. You must be known for one thing. Once you are known for that thing, the markets will know you. I hope it made some sense this morning. Get back to work. I trust that you're going to break through on every side. My prayers are with you, and I'll keep laboring right at this other hand to ensure that you have all the resources that is going to help your journey literally for free. God bless you. Go prosper. Amen. See you next week.